Please give a warm welcome to the hosts of Alternate Ending.
All right, welcome everybody to part 5 of this special alternate ending behind the scenes. I'm still Mandy, and this time I have with me Jessica Szohr. Did I say that right?
Correct.
Yeah. Yay! Thank goodness. And Ann Winters, who are two of the stars of the Orville New Horizons, premiering on Hulu on June 2nd. Jessica and Ann, how are you doing today?
Good. We're very, very excited for everyone to come on this journey with us. It's been a long time waiting, but definitely worth the wait.
It really has.
Yeah. But even doing this press day today, I'm like getting more pumped up because we're like, I keep remembering different storylines as she answers a question or I do. So it's bringing back all the feelings, all the vibes. We put our blood, sweat, and tears into this season. We obviously introduced Charly, who she came on like swinging, ready to play, ready to like bring this girl to life. And she did it in such an amazing way. So I'm obviously, you can tell, very excited and had 2 coffees over lunch. So I'm pumped.
It's a good lunch.
Oh gosh. I mean, I'm really excited. And just to like see even like a couple episodes fully come together without like the green screen in the background and everything. You see a script and you read it and it's so already like in space. There's no limits to these storylines. So you're imagining like these crazy characters or this CGI effect. And then when you see it come together, it's incredible what they put together. It's out of my imagination. So I'm excited for everybody to see it.
That must be the most amazing thing, especially on a show like this that just looks so good at this point, is like the director is promising you that there's gonna be some cool looking set piece or some like out of this world
alien thing. Yeah.
It's insane because also like the sets are beautiful on its own. So you walk on the bridge or you walk into the mess hall or you walk into all these beautiful sets, and we had 3 sound stages. So it's insane. But then, you know, when you're on the Orville on the ship on the bridge and you look out, we're looking at a green screen. So to see all the things that they add, even though the sets are already brilliant on their own, it's insane what they're doing. And it's also kind of funny. It's quite challenging, which we've talked about quite a bit today too, with all the different shots and angles that we have to do and the different eye lines. Like I've never had so many eye lines on a show. Like I'll be talking to John, but I'm looking at, you know, the blue X over here. And then I'm talking to Ed, but I'm looking at this X over here, but up 3 inches. So you really got to dial in. After a little bit, it starts to become very like, you get the technical, you know, part of it, but it is a bit of a challenging thing at first.
That's such a precise dance, and you just kind of have to have faith that it's all going to look so cool.
Speaking of dance, it all comes together. I will say my favorite times on set and what feels so stupid in the moment is when we do those battle scenes and we all have to look like we're being hit, or we have to look, we're like on the ship doing this and we have someone in the back.
Yeah, the shake. Everybody's got to do the shake.
3, 2, 1, shake.
Right, or 3, 2, 1, hit. And like you're doing all of this stuff. And it just, I mean, you feel ridiculous doing it, but it looks incredible. And it does really look real with all the CGI.
Yeah. And it really is like, there's a countdown, it's like choreographed, and it's, you know, with the lighting and with the thing. And if one person isn't on, you know, we got to redo it. But yes, like Ann said, when you go and watch it, it looks like flawless and like we're in a battle, as it should, but it's so crazy.
Because I guess that's why it's such a time-tested technique.
For sure. It's like a scene, you know, if you're at like a bar or a club and they have music going. Well, when you're filming, there's no music. So, you know what I'm saying? It's such like it's an interesting thing. You're like dancing at a thing with no music. It's like you're getting hit, but you're not getting hit.
We had fun on these days because like a lot of times we were all on the bridge doing a lot of these battle scenes without any dialogue or really anyone talking. So it was like just dancing, like just the hits and just the lighting or the battle or the like, you know, looking out to see what's happening. And that, you know, we film out of order. So those scenes kind of are sprinkled here and there throughout the entire season. So a lot of those days were taken up with just that from each different episode. So keeping up with the episode of what was happening, what came before, what's happening after, and also just like a full day of that was kind of, it was fun, but it was like very different for me. Like I had never been on a set that did that. It was fun and challenging.
Yeah. It was like a movie. I mean, because TV for me, you would, even if you shot a little bit out of order, it was normally like you did episode 1 and then episode 2. You might shoot something from episode 5 if you're in that location, but for the most part, it was like that. This was like a movie. We were shooting episode, parts of episode 10, and at the same time as episode 1. I was like, yeah. And Anne had said this earlier, and she's so right. We're in the same uniform for the so sometimes what you're wearing, you're like, oh yeah, she wore this to this event and went here. You didn't have that on this because you were basically in the same thing all the time for the most part. So that was
weird coming back from quarantine too. It was like you're in the same outfit, in the same hair and makeup, in the same trailer, and I'm like, what happened? Like, where are we? You know what I mean? It felt like we were in the time, what's that thing called? The projector where you can imagine like Isaac, or you can imagine like the
simulator, I think.
Simulator.
I was going to call it the holodeck, and then I was like, nope, Star Trek. So that actually is a pretty good segue.
We can't hear you.
So what I was asking before the mic decided that didn't want me to ask the question was, you are playing 2 of the newer characters on the show, because Jessica, you joined up in season 2, and Charly is new for season 3. And from what I read of your bios, this is a little bit of a departure from most of the other stuff that you've done. So were either of you science fiction fans before you came on the Orville? Was this like a step out of the comfort zone, or a dream come true, or something in between? And in either case, what has it been like to kind of step into this already sort of well-oiled machine as the new kid on the block?
I definitely I didn't know anything about science fiction. I've still to this day really never seen Star Trek or Star Wars. And when I got a call back for this, I binge watched the first 2 seasons and was like, okay, this is a fun world that I can really get into. It was a little bit, intimidating having 2 seasons already like up and running and being a well-oiled machine, like you were saying. But the 3rd season just took it to such a different level, and my character had such a difference for me personally that I've never played, that I was just excited. I was just genuinely excited to like do something new, interesting, and be challenged in the way that I was able to on this show.
Yeah, it was a little bit of in between. I didn't watch much sci-fi before this. It was an interesting and like kind of like, I don't want to say scary, but I knew it would be so challenging, but also so fun. So I would say I was like kind of on the fence of like, it wasn't something that I dreamed about doing, but it wasn't something that I was like not wanting to do. When it presented itself as an opportunity, it was when I read, here's what was different for me, where it made me be like, oh my God, this is going to be so rad, is just Seth's take on it. Because I don't think this is like anything else in the sci-fi world that I went and then started watching after the fact to just kind of see, and learn more things about this world. He really has a different take on it and how he does what he does with this show. And it's very special. And I think that's a testament to him as a brilliant writer and creator. But also why I think the show is as successful as it is, because it is a different way. When I was watching 301 and 303 before we did this press junket, there were moments where I was like, oh my gosh, wait, they all work on the USS Orville, but yet they're like on this raft, and then they're in this high school, and then they're like, we're touching on bullying. And, there was like moments where I forgot like that they all worked on the ship, and then they get on the ship and they're like in
There's
battle.
a lot of adventures. Like it doesn't feel like we're only on the ship. And I think that they take advantage of that. And I'm happy about it because
I think it's a
limit to where you can travel, where you can go create different worlds, go back in different time zones. Like it just made for a really fun show to be on with like endless opportunities.
Absolutely.
And in a way, I think it's actually kind of cool that you're not coming into this burdened with the feeling that you have to be Star Trek or that you have some kind of science fiction legacy to live up to, because it means that you're coming into this with completely fresh takes on your characters and on what it even means to be a character on a spaceship in a science fiction series. And even just from the little time that I've seen, like we've got a cast of incredible characters and then 2 more incredible characters to add to it that are just rounding things out.
And wait till you see what she brings to Charly. Like we were all so excited to see who was going to play this character and what they were going to bring. And she like knocks it out of the park and showed up like ready to play, ready to go. And, even if you're an amazing actor and coming on to a show a couple seasons in when it is, up and running and doing its thing, there's also a layer to a sci-fi show that we've all learned that's also like the challenging thing I was talking about, not just the dialogue and the language and the eye lines and all that. It's just a different kind of tone than other shows. So when she came on and had all of that and felt like she was like a part of the show from the beginning, and what she does with Charly and what Charly's character storyline role in season 3 is, it's just epic and awesome. And I'm really excited for everyone to see that, because we couldn't wait to meet who was going to play Charly, and she just fucking killed it.
Yeah, I think there's like a cool authoritative like aspect of being in charge of something so big, like being in space and like taking on that role, which is unlike anything that I've done before. So you have to kind of really mix in the vulnerability and like the human nature part of things with also like knowing your job and like your task at hand and knowing what you can handle and what you've been taught to handle to even be where you are as a, ensign or as the navigator on a ship. So that was fun to play with.
Yep. And I am so excited to see where all this goes to, just based on those first 2 episodes. Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have to talk to each other, but everybody should be very excited at this point. Thank you to those of you who have stuck with me through all 5 of these. One more time, the show is The Orville New Horizons, and it premieres on Hulu on June 2nd, and everybody should make sure to check it out. Anne and Jessica, thank you so much for talking with me today, and good luck with everything you do.
Thank you so much. Buckle up. Enjoy the ride.